Hello, welcome to today's section. We are going to talk about the steps of the research process. So we talk about the types of research. Usually the types of research include quantitative research, qualitative research, mixed method research, and other types of nursing research. And for the quantitative research, we have defined the quantitative research as a formal, objective, systematic process implemented to obtain numeric data for understanding aspects of the world. So we need to conceptualizing a research project, and we need to planning and implementing the project, and we also to communicating the findings. So usually for the quantitative research, we do have these major steps, major process to do the quantitative research. And I borrowed a figure from a book written in 2013 by Dr. Groh, Dr. Burns, and Dr. Gray. It's a really good textbook as well. So from this figure, from this picture, you will see there are several steps for the quantitative research. The first step is formulating a research problem and a purpose. And then you move to the review of relevant literature. And then you're developing a framework. And then you can formulating research objections and questions or hypotheses. And you define your study variables. And you're selecting a research design. And then you're defining the population and the sample. And then you're selecting methods of the measurement. And then you're developing a plan for data collection and analysis. And you're implementing the research plan. So you do the pilot study at first. If something not that good, you may go back to adjust your research plan. And then you start your formal data collection. And then after the data collection, you do the data analysis. And you do interpreting research outcomes. And then you're communicating research findings with others. You write the articles, you write your thesis or dissertation, or you may present your findings, your research on some conference. And so this is kind of, clear steps for quantitative research. You have some ideas. It's from up to down. It's kind of, the narrow one, from top to down. And from the low bottom, and when you're communicating research findings, you may find out some new thoughts, some new problems. Then you generate further research. Then you go back to the research problem and the purpose. So that's kind of, process for the quantitative research. This is a very exciting process. And also, I want to mention a little bit about the qualitative research. For the qualitative research, it's kind of different from the quantitative research, which I have mentioned before. Qualitative research is a systematic, interactive, subjective, holistic approach used to describe life experience and give them meaning. So it's totally different from quantitative research. And when I mention about quantitative research, I mention about about the number. You need to collect the data and you need to analyze the data. But in the qualitative research, usually we need to analyze the words, right? Remember the text. So in the qualitative research, you will see this process is totally different from quantitative research because it's an iterative process. C is kind of, a circle one. So as a researcher, you found a very interesting research problem. So from this research problem, you enter the research field, such as you enter the ward, you enter the nursing home to observe how nurses take care of elders with dementia. So you enter the research field and you use the interview you use the observation, you get some data collection, and then you do the data analysis at the same time. For example, if I want to go to the nursing home today and get some data, the data means I interview several, nursing caregivers, and then we ask how they feel about taking care of patients with dementia. And in the evening, I go back home. I can transcribe my interview and to analyze what they have said. So data analysis and data collection, they happen usually at the same time. It's kind of a special part for the qualitative research. And then from the data analysis, you may find out your research problem need to be revised. So you go back to the research problem and then you enter the research field. So it's kind of several circles from the problems into the field and do the data collection and do the data analysis. So until you feel the results, you get more understanding about the phenomenon. For me, for example, if I go to the nursing homes and I interview the caregivers, and then for several circles, I found what they have said is already similar. I mean, we can now find new, opinions. So at that moment, we may stop the study and then we start writing a report. So this is kind of a qualitative research process, and you will learn more information, more detailed information about qualitative research in the future. But here, you just remember this process is really, really different from the quantitative research. So that's the very brief introduction about the process for quantitative research and qualitative research. So you will learn more detailed information in the future. So thank you for today. See you next time.